Oh, yo, what is good? My quick crypto family and coin factory family back again with your daily Casper crypto live stream. And I have two things to say. For one, I apologize for being absent today and also being extremely late to streaming. As all of you are probably aware, those who tune in every single day, you know that I'm going to be heading to a friend's wedding tomorrow through Sunday. And it's been a very busy day preparing for it, so I just haven't had the time to be more involved in the community today, and I apologize for that. And also in that regard, therefore, this is going to be, the last stream for a little bit. There'll be no stream on Friday, none on Saturday, and none on Sunday. I'll still be keeping people updated through my Discord community, so make sure you're a part of the free server, equally the VIP as well. But that is the reason why I'm late today, and also just letting you know that there will be no more streams for the next 3 days, but I'll be back again on Monday. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about and better stuff to talk about, because unfortunately for my last stream for the next 3 days, it's not how I wanted to finish and leave you guys off. So we can see right now the markets are correcting, and I've seen so many comments who have been saying, oh, you lied, you clickbait on the last video that I made. Last video I made on my channel saying it was clickbait, because I said it's finally happening, Congress confirming breakout tomorrow, the title, all that sort of stuff. And was it misleading? It might have been misleading, but the facts were still there. And one thing I also stated in that video is that anything can happen, and if you get an unexpected situation like we had today, then the markets will come back down. So yeah, I mean, of course people are very, very frustrated, very emotional. It is what it is. In the stream today, we're going to be going through all the information that we have on hand, Casper updates, macro updates, and equally fundamental developments, explaining why the markets are correcting the way they are right now, the worries, the concern, the FUD. And I'll also do my best to try and set you all up for the weekend as well, so you are somewhat aware of what should be happening in the immediate short term. Of course, more accurate and frequent updates will be coming through the Discord server. So as always, if you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And definitely check out the free community to be more up to date with crypto and Casper and what's happening in the space. It's an easy way to get in contact with me as well as you need to. And of course, the VIP, a lot more in-depth information in there as well. That being said, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Hope you're doing very, very well on this doom and gloom Thursday, nonetheless. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. First indeed, good to have you back, my man. Your thumbnail says block out all the FUD to me. We keep hearing out there on Casper. And yeah, that is ultimately what the thumbnail implies. We're seeing a lot of FUD. The markets are correcting as a result, and we could see some more pullbacks in the immediate short term. But understand once more, it's FUD, it's noise. Nothing fundamentally has changed. For the most part, we're going to see some pullbacks, but going into the latter half of this month, I'm still convinced we'll end up seeing some strong breakouts. The M2 suggests so, the development suggests so, provided we get, again, no more uncertainties. And that's why the market's correcting. We've got an uncertain situation right now with war escalation, with Iran and Israel. That, and also due to the macro data as well, which has come back mixed opinions, mixed emotions, because while it has been better than expected, it's still actually been bad. We'll get into all of that in the stream though, brother. Welcome back, Wing Hong, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. We moon yet? Not yet. Hopefully soon. Welcome back, DD, bro. You're doing very well, brother, as well. What is that Burger King crown sign? I'm assuming you're referring to the crown above or next to your name, Hong, which is the top fans thing that YouTube introduced relatively recently. Basically, the more you comment, you get a score, and if you're in the top 3, you get a crown next to it. Of course, I'd pray that no one spams the chat to try and get the crown. You don't really get anything special for it, but I guess it makes you know that you're very active in the chat right now. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. Yeah, moon soon, hopefully one day, definitely. It's not the moon, but the Kuiper belt that we going to reach. I mean, yeah, we're going to definitely fly to infinity and beyond in the future to be. Good evening, Brett, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. I wish I have someone to wed. I mean, me and you both, brother. But hey, it'll hopefully still be a good event to just appreciate, one of my closest friends and his significant other, who I've also known for as long, and we've been very close as well as mates. So two of my close friends, effectively exchanging vows to share their life together. It's going to be a magical day, I hope. And of course, us Brits know how to get very, very drunk at these events as well, so that's going to be something exciting as well. I probably won't drink alcohol for a year afterwards, I imagine. If the war rumours dragging the markets down, you're completely right, Josh G. Although the Casper currency account nonsense isn't helping, yes, that's also another complication as well. That's why the markets are correct. I mean, the Casper account thing, I don't think the Casper account has been the detrimental factor that's caused the Casper price to correct today. It has mainly just been following the war FUD. But it's not helping, you're right. But Lightyear says to infinity and beyond, you're completely right, Didi, and that is where I hope crypto and Casper is going to go in this cycle and the future to come as well. What I'm convinced, I know, should I say, know for a fact, and the VIP information I provided to my executive prove that as such as well. I know that in the future to come, we're going to explode to infinity and beyond. This cycle, again, we have to wait and see what sort of explosion we're going to be seeing, but I'm still optimistic for what is going to be coming very, very shortly. That being said, though, let's get into the content for today's stream, first and foremost. So, to start off, we have this first post here from the KYC letter. Breaking: Israel is considering military action against Iran in the coming days, per ABC News. Gold prices are now surging above $3,400 per ounce, less than 3% away from new all-time highs. We can see here, looking at the market chart, gold currently up 0.88% on the daily time frame, again surging towards all-time highs. Understandable, because again, with there being uncertainties, war, FUD, in these times, economies tend to collapse. But you can't just have no money, so investors tend to go to where there's less risk, which of course then commodities. Gold is proven to be the most secure asset in history, so gold therefore is rallying up. I'm going to continue in that fashion therefore as well. Of course, we've got the Sky News report here as well, which highlights that Israel is considering military action against Iran in days without US support. The United States apparently are pulling out as well. The US has ordered an evacuation of its embassy in Iraq as tensions rise in the region, with the Trump administration trying to reach a deal with Iran to curtail its nuclear program. So it goes into this whole situation here. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it, because I mean, again, I'm sure you all are aware that it's not hard to find information. To type in Israel and Iran into Google or whatever platform you use, and you'll find it. But ultimately, right now, due to the US pulling out as a strategy, as it seems to, again, curtail or trying to convince, if not force the hand of Iran to curtail its nuclear program, Trump and America are therefore pulling out and evacuating the embassy from Iraq. And that's why there's now a potential that Israel are considering military action as a result of this. US officials have been informed that Israel is fully prepared to launch an operation against Iran, and oil prices are nearing $39 per barrel. For the first time since March 2025, oil is rising. So to also add on to that as well, we got here from JP Morgan, which again, it's not guaranteeing it's going to come to fruition, but again, if JP Morgan says something, investors take that and run with it, so they're now very, very worried. JP Morgan stated that an attack on Iran could spike the oil prices from $69 per barrel to $120, and that could also drive US CPI inflation to 5%. Right now it's about 2.3, 2.4. It can send it 2x going up massively. And of course, with Trump's priority being low energy prices for low inflation, this would completely flip the table. And an attack driving oil prices up to 120 would significantly increase the chances that the Fed don't cut rates, but instead start hiking them to control inflation. So, in a short summary of that, Trump is playing, or seemingly Trump is playing some form of strategic game. At least that's how I read it. Again, this is mainstream media. I need to probably do a little bit more in-depth research into it to find out the actual outcome of what's happening right now. For what I can see, Trump's pulling the US embassy out of Iraq. And as a result of that, Israel are like, okay, well, we're now going to potentially, launch military action against Iran. That's what all the media outlets are talking about. Gold is then rising as a result because there's a lot of risk, a lot of FUD, and oil is rising because, again, oil is what you use to fuel your vehicles and whatnot. So So of course oil's rising, and that's also not good for the markets as well, and that will also cause inflation to rise. Now, this is also problematic due to the recent CPI and PPI inflation data. This information, once more, I made fully aware to my VIPs ahead of time. You can see a little bit of a here, just letting my VIPs know exactly what's happening and the situation as it unfolds. Again, if you want to find out more real-time updates, then check out the VIP group. Again, links down below in the description, homepage on YouTube, and also here as well. But the CPI inflation data and PPI inflation data both came out yesterday and today. So yesterday we went through that CPI, came back at 0.1% and 0.1% on core and not core, which was better than expected, which is fantastic news. And year on year equally was better than expected at 2.4 as opposed to 2.5. However, in all three instances across the board, the inflation did rise for CPI. Last month it was 2.3, and while I didn't run 2.5, it was still up by 0.1, 2.4. To 0.2 for both CPI and core CPI, and it's expected to either stay the same or expected to, well, actually in these cases it did come down. No, I'm sorry, I meant to refer to the PPI. I made a mistake, but yeah, in this regard, yesterday the CPI did actually come down from last month, which is good. The year on year is still up a little bit, but the core and CPI actually went down, which is good, and below expectation. That's great. But the PPI that came out today, PPI and core PPI inflation data, both came below expectations, which is again really good. But last month it was minus 0.2% for both, and now this time minus 0.1% for both. So it actually went up by 0.3%. So therefore, it does indicate that while it's not as bad as expected, inflation is starting to rise a little bit again. So when you have inflation starting to rise, and of course the Fed are using tariffs as the reason for it, whether it's actually the case or not, again, but they're highlighting that tariffs are the reason for the inflation to be rising, and now you've got, war, FUD again, rallying, and as a result, therefore, the belief that tariffs will jump up massively should an attack actually occur and oil prices rise. Therefore, it's now got a lot of investors very, very worried that we may not end up seeing rate cuts at all this cycle. Right now, there's still sentiment that's going to be 2 rate cuts, but that sentiment is now deteriorating more and more, and people are worried that if the war does, unfold, if you will, then we will end up not seeing rate cuts and potentially even rate hikes, and hopefully not a recession, but that's currently where we're at with the macro right now and the fundamental war developments. That's why you can see that Bitcoin, while it was testing 110k continuously not that long ago, literally a day or two ago, is continuously testing that. And now Bitcoin has come down significantly. For Bitcoin, it's come down 4% in the past 2 days, from 110k down to 106k. Casper was testing 9 cents resistance, and equally has come back down 10% in the past 2 days, and it's frustrating. Now, is that a problem with Casper? No, of course it's not. Is that making people frustrated about Casper? Of course it is, because people are only going to be paying attention to the actual chart. Most people, when they complain about Casper's price, they forget to look at the wider outlook. They look at Casper's chart and think, oh, it's staying down here again, it's frustrating, I'm going to sell. And if you do so, then by all means you do as you will. Again, you do your own investment decisions, you are your own investor. But when you take a step back and you look at the market, you can see the whole market is red. Bitcoin's come down, and we're still very much in a Bitcoin dominant market. When I can type Bitcoin dominance, 64.34%. So when Bitcoin does, the market follows in suit. With Bitcoin coming down because of war, FUD, and investor, negative sentiment, Casper's going to follow in suit. Obviously, it's going to follow in suit. It's nothing detrimental to Casper while the project's down. Of course, we want it to be higher. I still believe it will be higher, but you guys know my sentiment. I'm not worried. I never have been worried about Casper. I'm willing to hold it for a very, very long time. I'm also very confident even now it's still going to do very well this cycle. And I'm sure that my patience and my conviction is going to bear fruits in the coming months, especially now that we're also seeing some very, very reassuring crypto developments in the White House. We can see here, we saw on Tuesday, we had the Clarity Act that passed the House by quite a reassuring, bipartisan vote, 47-6, and then we had it pass the Financial Committee on 30-19. So now it's going to be going for a full House vote very, very shortly. I believe it's going to be next week, which is reassuring. It's very, very good. The market clarity, the market structure bill getting administered, which is, again, really, really good. And equally as well, we did end up finding out later last night, when our stream did finish, the results from the stablecoin bill, the cloture. We needed 60 votes and we got 68. So we did pass that as well, which is very reassuring. So the cloture is invoked. Now the clock starts. The lawmakers can proceed to vote on the amendment. This is a cloture on the Hegarty Amendment, which makes changes to the Genius Act to gain democratic support. After the cloture period ends, there will be a vote to adopt the amendment, and we'll find out more. And the re-voting, if you will, happens early next week. So hopefully, when I come back from my mate's wedding and we're doing our streams again, we'll find out very, very shortly the sentiment behind the vote for the bill, the stablecoin bill, and whether it will be passed. And if it's passed, I believe at that point, then it's just a case of Donald Trump actually signing it into law. So next week, we could end up seeing the admission and basically implementation of the law, because Trump's not going to say no, he wants it as well. So once it's past this stage, Trump just put a signature there and it's done. Not that he can say no anyways. If it's passed through all the panels, he can't, he just signs it. So that is, ultimately very good news. So next week could be very, very big. And that is, again, it's good news to see that. But unfortunately, again, FUD will always trump hype and FOMO. Always has done, always will do. This is very, very bullish. This is a big, big step towards trillions of dollars of institutional capital coming to crypto. That is something very important. And again, the information in my VIP proves that as well. A lot of big, big institutional banks are waiting for these bills before they literally go pretty much all in straight away. But this news here and the macro data is not making investors very confident right now, hence why gold's rallying, and on-risk asset markets like crypto are starting to see some pullbacks. Will we be fine? In my belief, we will. This is just noise. I am obviously hoping, nothing based on just pure hope here, it's speculation, but I'm hoping that this war will not break out and will, simmer down. And if that's the case, then of course we'll see the markets rally once again. Again, looking at the M2 supply, that M2 suggests we should be seeing this rally in due time. Again, exactly when, we just simply don't know, but we should be seeing the market start to do very, very well. We should be going up around this point. So we'll have to wait and see once more where we go from here. I'll get some questions real quickly and then we'll get to them on the Casper news right now. And again, just kind of break down what's happening right now. Once we get through the Casper news, then I'll kind of break down what I expect to see for the upcoming days as well. Welcome back again, Dreaming Code. I dumped my capital for ZBCN. I lost faith. I mean, you do what you have to do, brother. Again, that's completely up to you. Again, I know ZBCN has done exceptionally well as of late. ZBEC network, and it could do very, very well in this cycle. Had a very, very nice rally here, could do very, very well. For the most part, though, people who have sold, and it's the exact same situation with Sui, right? Of course, Sui has still done very, very well, but think about it. A lot of people back then as well with Casper, they sold their Casper to get into Sui. Now Sui has done better, so it ended up working out, but they chased candles, and there's always the possibility that chasing candles won't work out. But I get it, Casper has been stagnant. If you look at his market chart, Casper has been for the most part very, very stagnant for a very, very long time. 60 million volume, still lackluster, 2.19 billion market cap, 8.3 cents, 41 on CMC. And we can see, that chart, the chart as a whole looks fantastic, but in the last, year or so, it's frustrating, to put it politely, or to put it lightly, it's frustrating. So I'm not going to discredit that. And again, of course, we're all here to make money. So you got to do what's right for you. If you dump your Casper to get something else, by all means, go for it, bro. I hope it plans out well. Me personally, I am in other projects. I've been saying that since the beginning. I hold Say, I hold Sui, I hold XRP, I hold some Tau, I hold some Desync, and I hold some other ones as well, ones that I've told to my VIPs. Still holding them even now. Of course, they're my biggest bags in Casper, and I want to do well. At the same time, though, I am patient. I do have time. I've been holding Casper for over a year. Going 2 years, I can hold it longer. Every time people are worried about the price, and I get it, all I keep thinking about is, again, looking at other projects that did similar stuff in the past. I'm not going to load them up because I do it every stream now, but look at AVAX, look at Solana, look at every other project that did very lackluster movement for a very, very long time. Casper did a fantastic pump. Again, also a matter of perspective, is Casper had reached its 20 cents at the peak here, as opposed to doing it here. If Casper had done this, and then reached the peak there, and then come down, nobody would be complaining about Casper. Because this is what fundamentally every other project in the crypto space has done. Every other project, for the most part, made this peak around December or around January 1st when Trump was inaugurated, around here. They made a peak around here, and they've been down since then. Casper only came and peaked much, much earlier, and therefore had a much longer downtime. So therefore, there's more frustration with investors. But at the same time, many, many projects, I could load up pretty much any project in the space right now, for the most part. And you can see they're quite heavily down right now. I mean, I look at ZBEC, ZBCN, USDT, and see how much it's down right now from its all-time highs. Yeah, it's about 42% right now, after making all-time highs very, very recently. And of course, Casper is down a lot further. It's down about 60% right now, which is frustrating, yeah. So, again, ZBEC's done very, very well. Some people knew about it early, some people only found out about it recently, and they're chasing the pump. Again, by all means, do what's right for you, and I hope that, I hope that people who do end up selling Casper or selling any crypto, again, you do what's right for you, and you don't regret your decisions, because ultimately, it comes down to your conviction and your research. If you've done research into the project, and you think that your research is profound and in-depth enough to give you conviction in, again, changing projects, well, then by all means, go for it. I have no qualms with anybody who sells Casper. I again, in a respectful way, I really don't care what people do with their money. That's not my job here. I'm not saying buy Casper, buy Casper. I don't care. I'm not a financial advisor. I report Casper because of what I believe in. I report other cryptos as well occasionally. I'll be making some more altcoin videos at some point in the near future as well. And also making some market structure videos as well and whatnot as well. But in these streams, every single time we do these streams, we do a macro update, a fundamental update, and then we do Casper updates because we are ultimately, most of us, and all of us here are holding Casper. And it's frustrating. It's been a long haul, but I'm still convinced that our conviction will play out very, very well in this cycle. I think Casper at this point now, because the FUD is so loud, they're going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people. That's what I believe, at least. Are we pumping the 15? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, brother. We're not pumping right now, definitely not. Is altcoin season sooner than we think? I'm going to say no. We are seeing Ethereum show a bit more dominance than Bitcoin as of late. But, we've had a delayed, breakout, if you will, because of uncertain developments like the war. And therefore, we have seen one more pullback, I'm hoping. The final one, hopefully, before we see the market rally. Alt season won't be for another few months. So sooner than we think, again, I don't know. I think what's going to kickstart alt season properly will be ETFs. And they won't come through for probably another month or 2 or 3. When will we know if they are no alt season and we are screwed? Alt season will happen, in my belief. Again, you're going to have the SEC issue and approve ETFs from other projects, from other companies. You'll see XRP, you'll see Solana, you might see Hedera, AVAX, Cardano, many, many more. Maybe not all of them this year, some of them are probably going into 2026. But you'll see some this year. I believe Solana and XRP are the most likely to happen this year. And that will kickstart alt season as well. And Ethereum will rally up higher as well. And when Bitcoin dominance falls off, all those factors, you'll see it happening. It's just, again, we have to wait and see for when. We still are waiting for Bitcoin to make that breakout right now. So, and it's still for me going to happen. This, for me, I don't think it's a double top. Much as it looks like that right now, again, this reversal happened because of this escalation of war. If that didn't happen, I'm convinced we'd have seen Bitcoin probably trading above here still, holding it, and then preparing for a breakup maybe next week. or even maybe this weekend. Again, we can't say for sure. You know, it's in hindsight. Is Casper dumping any harder than any other coin? They all seem to be dumping. No, again, it's not. Look, Casper's currently down 4.70% on the daily time frame. Sui's down 5.1. Say is down 6.69. Tau 6.26. XRP, which is a much bigger market cap than Casper, is down 3.72. Ethereum, I guess, so Casper's dumping in a similar sort of fashion to every other project right now. It's not dumping more. That's what I mean. Casper's not doing badly today compared to other projects. It's doing badly overall, but again, loads of other projects are in very similar scenarios. You know, Ethereum from all-time highs is down like 40%. Casper down 60, so it's down more, but it's, you know, everything's down similarly right now. And I still say it again because I think it's also very interesting how I've heard nobody complain about Tau's price action, frankly, ever. Not at all, actually. Which is funny because Tau's market chart is basically a carbon copy of Casper's. If you look at it, from November 23 to where it's at right now, you know, similar price. If you look at Tau November 23, you know, you're looking at similar price again. I mean, it's a little bit up, but it's very similar price. No one's complaining about Tau though. And that's because people believe Tau's a great project with, you know, AI stuff. But again, that means for me it's noise. I hear the FUD, I hear the hate. I'm getting much more hate now in my YouTube channel because I cover Casper and they're calling me, you know, desperate trying to get my bag pumping scammer. And you can say what you want. Again, I've got thick skin. I really doesn't bother me at all. I have been doing this for over a year. I've been doing the streams for almost a year. And hell, I would not be a content creator if, you know, negative comments would get to me. Hell, I've had people take the piss out of my lisp. I'm still here. I laugh along with it. If it gets very, very derogatory and very rude, then yes, then it might be a different story. But for the most part, either I laugh and ignore it or I laugh with them. It's not going to harm me. As long as it's not disrespectful outright. People who, you know, call me clickbait and that sort of stuff, which does happen and happening more so recently as well. It does hurt to see that because for me, I'm like, people aren't watching my content properly then. Because if they're watching my content, I provide information on everything. Breakdowns of everything. So those breakdowns will explain what the video's on about. Some people just simply look at the title and just say it's clickbait and just leave it at that. But hey, people do what they want to do. People frustrated with their bags. People are emotional. It is what it is. Crypto should moon on threats of war? No, because crypto is an on-risk asset. No war. In the meantime, makes it dump. No, because basically, war is a very, very volatile time, and during this time, you know, investments, you know, stocks, bonds, stocks like equity markets, crypto, they are deemed as on-risk assets where there's going to be a lot of volatility. And during times of uncertainty like war, you don't want to be in these markets. That's why gold's doing very well as a store of value, a safe haven. So crypto's down because of war. By the end of the summer, what price do you expect Casper to be reaching? I don't do price predictions anymore, Daniel, personally. I think Casper could do very well and be better from where it's at right now. In my perspective, most other people think summer is bearish for the markets, but macro indicators and global money supply are putting for moon. I mean, I do agree that macro's looking a little bit shaky right now. After just coming from the forex thing here, the inflation is starting to gradually get worse, starting to gradually rise now. Not significantly, still better than expectations, but starting to gradually rise. And that's probably a result of the tariffs. That's what the Fed's saying. We'll have to see what the Fed say on the 18th, which is in 6 days' time. And then we'll find out, you know, Jerome Powell's stance. Is it going to be hawkish or dovish? We'll find out, and that will let us know how the Fed plan to act for the end of the year. But the macro in that regard, the macro suggests that summer's going to be a very, very good time, you know? So the question is, will Bitcoin, as it has been doing quite diligently, follow the macro, the M2 supply even, or will it stay level for a little bit longer? We'll have to wait and see. Again, uncertainties like FUD will cause Bitcoin to act negatively to the macro, of course, as we're seeing right now. But my perspective is that Bitcoin's going to rise, hopefully soon. How high I think we're going to be with Casper and Bitcoin. Exactly. I mean, the M2 suggests, you know, by the end of this month, we should be seeing, you know, 130k Bitcoin, give or take. How high we're going to get for Casper? I mean, M2 doesn't really work for it. Again, I don't do price predictions anymore. I think Casper should be higher. If Bitcoin goes up, Casper goes up. That's the way I'll put it. But I still think Casper will do very, very well this cycle. You said PP, yeah, I know. PPI, I know. October 7th caused this war, not DT. I mean, yeah, no, the war was already happening. I agree, October plus. The war was already happening. So, you know, in that regard here, Trump evacuating its embassy in Iraq didn't cause this. So I agree with you there. And that's also the problem, though. With mainstream media outlets, they're always going to paint Trump as the bad guy. I'm not saying Trump's a saint. And again, I'm not here to get into a political conversation because it does my Sweden, honestly. And I'm tired of talking about politics, but unfortunately, crypto and politics now go hand in hand. But mainstream media paint Trump to be the reason for this escalation. The war's already happened before that, so it's not Trump's fault. But maybe this might have been a trigger to make it worse. Again, this is simply, I'm reading the information on hand right now. The only parts that really matter, the only factual parts that really, really matter, is there's currently seemingly an escalation of war between Iran and Israel. Therefore, there's uncertainty in the markets, and therefore it's worried that oil prices will rise, and that'll cause inflation as well. So it's just it's a bad time for markets right now. Seems like the Don has to make himself relevant at least once every week. I mean, again, it's a matter of perspective, and you have to understand once more, mainstream media, they are not trustful and truthful source of information. Equally, I'll make mistakes myself. That's why I highlight this is what I'm reading. You know, always do your own research anyways, but mainstream media is not the best place to always find information, because mainstream media will 9 times out of 10 always paint Trump as the bad guy. Now, again, I'm not saying he's a saint, but I'm saying they're probably, you know, demonizing him maybe too much. You know, I get my information from multiple sources. I look at it from both sides of the coin to try and make a very neutral and fair point when I'm talking about this sort of stuff. Which is very, very difficult, because it always sounds like you're leaning to one side. That's why I try to refrain from talking about it too much. But you know, Trump's the president. He's always doing. I mean, he had a trade talk with China last week, or earlier this week even, and they came to another trade deal. So, you know, he's still making developments that seem to be benefiting America for the most part, from what I can see. But you know, this is the development we've seen right now of the war, which is happening before Trump. So, when Casper ETS, unfortunately, being home, we have no idea. We have no idea at all. You know, Grayscale was the likelihood for it. They were considering Casper in Q1 or something like that, or Q4 2024, and they've removed it from consideration. And we've had no updates since then as well. Maybe when Casper starts to rally and you see T1s, you'll probably start seeing more consideration again. But I feel like there's also potentially a conjoined effort by these exchanges and by these, you know, money parties, these smart money, to ignore Casper because of the threat it has to their way of living, which is centralized and control. That being said, before we get to more questions though, let's get into the Casper news first and foremost. So we can see here, this is one of the posts from Casper City. Yeah, Casper City. So this was also, you know, in conjunction to the member, who I'm going to scroll up to give his kudos, to Josh G. Shout out to you, bro. Yes, I said that also the Casper account is not helping our situations, and you are right in that regard. So Casper City here, this page is evolving, not into a brand or a product, but into a city. Empires fall, corporations fade, cities survive and thrive. Cities are almost impossible to destroy, and we've tried. They've endured pandemics, civil wars, bombings, and financial collapses. Cities strive because they don't require permissions to evolve. They grow stronger through emergent adaptation and diversity. Cities are anti-fragile. It's basically quite a massive philosophical post here from the reformed Casper, which went to Casper Unofficial, then went to Casper City. I mean, Casper City is probably better than Unofficial, but you could have just kept it at Casper. You could have just kept it. You could have just kept it at Casper. I don't see why the name change was necessary. So they've now, you know, this page was once seen as the official voice. Now it's transformed into a public square within a city, a space to spotlight builders. So yeah, this is the city. So we can see the Casper account here. They've rechanged their name to Casper City, and they are doing, you know, as they said they would be doing. They are retweeting content from Casper Commons, who's, you know, that's Chad, who used to run this page. He made a new page, Casper Commons. They retweeted his content, retweeted the person who recently got the best Casper content creator for Twitter recently, and equally from Igor Labs here as well. That's the recent repost we've seen, and this, being controlled by a select few individuals, who are controlling the page right now. But their whole goal is to, again, not to have any, centralized control or, bias, just to simply be retweeting stuff about Casper from other content creators, which I would say is probably a good thing in that regard. Casper Silver has a post here as well about it, and I think I do agree with it. Very simple solution: unfollow and move on. Those who are not happy with this, which I think it seems like Casper Silver isn't particularly that happy as well. I can't exactly tell from the post here, but it's a very simple solution. They rechanged their name to Casper City. If you don't like it, unfollow and move on. It's just an account. Always will be owned by somebody. It can't be decentralized fully. That someone will always let people down eventually. This account and no single account will ever represent Casper as a whole. Waste of social media reach, but Casper will give you. So look, it looks like he's not very pleased by it. And I do agree. I think how Casper was, and maybe it's just me, but I think the way Casper was previously being handled wasn't an issue. And seemingly, I think the only one that thought it was an issue was Polinsky himself. Well, I say only one. He was the main voice, I think, who thought it was the problem with the page, who thought it was becoming too centralized. So they've changed their direction now. And they've changed to Casper City. I don't like the name. I'm not a big fan of the name. I understand why they made the name. I think just keeping it a Casper would have been perfectly fine. The reposting thing would have been fine as well, but it's what it is. Again, simply put, if you don't like it, unfollow, move on. Ultimately, and truth of the matter being is that we, as a community, are the marketing team, not this account. That's why they're reposting other people's content. So if you don't like it, it's what it is. It's a waste of social media reach, but Casper will go on. So that's one of the Casper updates right now. It is what it is. It's frustrating, I haven't unfollowed them. I don't particularly plan to, but I don't think, again, there used to be the problem that I perceive from it is that there was a stage, when I was first researching Casper, that the Casper currency Twitter page was a source of information for Casper. You could find information about Casper here, and you could do the same thing right now. They're retweeting other posts, but it doesn't. Again, it's different. It's different. Is all I can say to it. And we'll move on from that as well. In other news, also quite interestingly here, Casper Door made a post here saying, what could this be? We can now see exchange Casper for wrapped Casper, which is the currency that the Casplex layer 2 will be using. Similarly, I believe that Igra Labs will be using iCas, not wrapped Casper, which are both just basically wrapped version of Casper for their layer 2 specifically. Now, the reason they have a wrapped version, I believe, is a temporary means until we get native smart contracts, but also because, again, it won't overload the layer 1 by having these wrapped versions. There was a question that I thought about, how are miners going to be happy about this? If they're going to be mining to get wrapped Casper instead? And I'm still trying to find more information about it, to understand better about it myself. The way I perceive it is, again, you can mine it. You might mine wrapped Casper, but they can always exchange it back into Casper, swap it back into Casper, and the transaction fees will be delegated in the native token being Casper as well. So despite the wrapped Casper being here and soon to be Igra's iCas as well, everything's still denominated and backed one-to-one with Casper. So it's still Casper. But it's a sign that at least the Igra are, proceeding accordingly, and I guess closer to them, releasing their mainnet if they've got this part almost ready as well. Casper highlights here, though, when proof of reserves, and I think, again, it's a fair question. And Casplex's team and those connected to Casplex have been very, very quiet on that front. We're not by any means, what's the word I'm looking for? We're not by any means entitled to see it, but it's just not reassuring investors. There's no proof of reserves right now, and that's the ultimate factor as well. The wrap Casper part here, you're exchanging your Casper for wrap Casper, but if they've got no reserves, then there's a chance they get liquidated themselves and the whole layer 2 collapses. So, it's something that hopefully we'll find out more once the layer 2 is open source and up and running. And another news as well, also very important, shout out to Brian who sent me this post here. Casper, as a talking point once more, while Casper had been very, very bad in the last year or so, in the past 3 years since the start of this new cycle, Casper has still outperformed top assets in the world. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's company, who've been buying into Bitcoin very, very early, they outperformed them Nvidia, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Apple, Tesla, all the massive assets, Casper has confidently and comfortably outperformed them all and did better early on as well. This is current right now from June 2022 to May 2025. If we're taking it from its all-time high, Casper blew everything out of the water. That's without tier 1 listings. So again, that's a very big testament to what Casper is as a long-term holding. Of course, if you got into it that early, then fantastic. If you didn't, then of course you have a different perspective on it. But also, again, interestingly, yes, as highlighted from Brian here as well, the Genius Act will be passed June 2025. The high likelihood of it right now. What else do you think? All those the T-bonds, which are the T-bonds, back stable coins, will have to ride. It won't be immediate, but I do believe in the future that all elements of, real world assets and all elements of commodities and whatnot will be coming on chain and will eventually come to Casper. The Genius Act will bring more institutional adoption and treasuries and debt and whatnot, T-bills and that stuff coming to crypto, and Casper will hopefully be more developed by that point as well. Should be seeing it in June. Again, we covered that already here. We'll find a vote next week about it, so very interesting as well. And this post here, I'm going to be linking in my free Discord server as well. I'm not going to play it because it's a 33-minute AI podcast. Ultimately, Michael Sutton basically asked, not on Twitter, if he could write a roadmap, not on Twitter, asked Michael Sutton if he could write a roadmap. As a first step towards running away from the challenge, I sent him a link to Casper's research forum, layer 1 to layer 2 category, and politely asked him if he had read all the posts yet. He returned the favor and came back a few hours later with a brilliant AI podcast generated by Notebook LM after he fed it all the relevant posts. So ultimately, he was asked, can you make a roadmap? He didn't want to do it, probably wasted his time, I guess. And it's like, here's a link to the forums, look for yourself. And he put all the information into an AI podcast, which apparently was very scarily accurate. I only felt that it rounded some edges in areas that I haven't actually expanded enough on yet. Also, it runs through complex pseudocodes too fast at times, but overall it was really accurate and very entertaining, at least for me. TLDR, if you're interested in Casper's base ZK rollup design, listen to this thing. So I'll be linking this down below, in my community, my physical server. So again, check that out if you're not a part of it already, right here, homepage, also down in the description. And if you want to find out more and learn more about Casper and the intrinsic important value and part of Casper's design, this AI podcast breaks it down very, very well. You've got 33 minutes. Probably just put it on while you're having your morning breakfast and whatnot, or driving to work. Might be a very, very interesting thing for you to listen to, as opposed to my waffle and FOMO and, hopium. More actual information. I say that, I think my content's quite informative, but, in a different sense. And we got some more information here as well. We've seen this circulating recently as well, which I haven't looked too much into it myself. I have some conflicting opinions about it, which Casper says here as well. I'm curious about what people's thoughts are about this. Personally, anytime I see buy and burn, it automatically tells me whatever this will fail. Basically coming about the fact that apparently Casper mining has now integrated into Tensor, Tau, which sounds like a great partnership, sounds fantastic, but conflicting opinions on this right now. Again, I've not looked too much into it because I've been extremely busy, but the sound of that alone makes me feel like, okay, well, Tau and Casper working together, that sounds quite cool. But I need to find out more about it to create a proper perspective of the whole matter. And then we also got this part here, Casper Class. I'll be linking this down below in my community as well, about one of the other emerging DEXs being Casper Finance as well, that's coming out. We've got, Zealous, we've got Casper Commons, we've got Casper Finance as well. We've got, not Casper Com, we've got Casper Com, Casper Finance, and we also got Zealous right now, and a few more coming out as well. So, team looks solid right now, and they're building more and more. All information down here as well. So we'll get into that probably later on as well. I'm going to answer questions real quickly and then give a kind of a brief rundown on what I expect we're going to see this weekend as well. Until smart contract and adoption, the Fudsters just think Casper is speculative. I'm 100% confident though in the team. Exactly. I mean, ultimately, and the same thing for a lot of people. And there are valid arguments to be making. If you were in other assets right now, you would have had a better return of investment. So I'm not going to discredit that. You would have had a better return of investment if you were in many other assets in a similar time frame to ones that people got in, around here. You would make a lot more money in other projects right now, probably, or lost a lot less at least. But that's the problem though, because people are here to make money and solely to make money, they only care about price action. And when they see developments and good news, they think, oh, the price has got to rise therefore. And when it doesn't, they get frustrated. for me, of course, price matters. I want to make money myself as well. That's also why I trade through BYDFI, and I've been doing very well in that. Our community, our VIP, has been doing very well in that, shall I say. We're doing a lot of information in there as well. It provides more insight as well on what's happening in the market, the institutional sentiment. I don't get scared or worried about markets because I know what's coming. I'm not frustrated about the price being down, not at all, because I know what's coming. I'm cool as a cucumber. I'm very confident myself. So yeah, price is down, price is frustrating, but I choose the opportunity to keep buying the dips because I, want to see my bag explode. Selling Casper for Zebek or Sui Classic, new mistake. Switching horse mid-race. Tokenomics for both are atrocious. At the very least, these tokens will dump. I mean, again, it's opinionated. There's definitely some elements in that which are accurate. And yes, the Sui tokenomics, I haven't looked again too much into Zebek, but the Sui tokenomics are terrible. So there's a possibility that therefore these VC back, right, Sui's being kept up by VCs, the likes of Raoul Powell. They're keeping it up because Sui had a massive hack recently, and they've managed to freeze to stop the hack getting worse. But that proved that their DeFi is not a DeFi at all; it's actually centralized. So they kind of ruined the whole image there. But look at Sui. Sui came back very quickly from that because the investors kept the price up. So, and yeah, again, looking simply from that price perspective, if you looked at Sui. People were telling me about Sui in November when Casper was doing badly. But in November, no, it was down here, sorry. It was in October. And Sui is currently up from people who are telling me about that in October around here. Sui is currently up 50%, 60%. Zebek is equally up and gone up recently as well. It's down right now, 40%, but it's been doing well. But it's the same perspective, people again are chasing pumps. And it's worked out well for Sui holders, but they can still just take you out and liquidate you. Casper's fair launch is safer. That's my belief, at least. But people got to do what's best for them. If you want to take your capital and put it elsewhere, that's completely up to you, and I hope it plans out well for you. I do. I have no ill feeling towards anybody who leaves Casper. It doesn't bother me at all. I hope your investment plan out well for you. I want you all to do very well and be wealthy. That's my wish for everybody. Even those who hate on me and FUD me and say Casper's a scam and hate Casper, I still hope you plan out well in your investments. I hope you do very, very well. I just believe that Casper's still where I want to be. I have no reason right now to not believe in Casper. The price is whatever. You can't expect green hills all the time. For me, we need to dip for Bitcoin to bounce and go to 115k. I mean, right now we're seeing a bit of a dip. Maybe we see it come down a little bit lower. We have to wait and see again. Ultimately, right now, it's the FUD that's driving the markets again. If dump more, I will buy. Good man, Dimitar. Love to hear it. But yeah, it's always the Octopus. Yeah, do your own research, definitely. What's so bad about Casper FUD? Isn't it actually better for the chart? When everyone is bullish, the price usually goes down. I mean, the Casper FUD right now, there's not really, I wouldn't say it's too much Casper FUD per se. The quote-unquote FUD is just from the the Casper account changing to Casper City. I don't really think that's Casper FUD. The FUD is mainly coming from the speculation or, just the ill feeling regarding the account and the price being bad. And note, people have been hearing tier one listings for years now. I try my best to refrain from talking about them too much because people are tired of hearing it unless it's actual confirmation now, because all we keep hearing is tier one, and they're not coming. People are very, very frustrated about it. It's just people are tired. That's what it is. And it's such a good strategy by Smart Money. It's such a good strategy. They know with what's coming to Casper. This is my perspective again. Speculation, not financial advice. But the way I perceive it is they know what Casper's building is so innovative, it's so unique, it's so groundbreaking. And they know they got in late. They know they've got to accumulate themselves. So what they're doing is they are freezing you out. They're freezing you out by making you tired of holding something that's been down for so long and everything else is doing better. And then, in my belief, you can see Casper explode very, very quickly, all of a sudden in just a matter of weeks, explode massively in a short span of time because everybody at the same time says, yes, let's pump Casper now. Now that everyone's got out, all the people who are, paper hands got out, let's get into it now and pump it like crazy. Tier 1's coming through, Wall Street coming through, and so on and so forth. That's my belief. I hope it pans out that way. It's not definitely going to pan out that way, it's how I believe it's going to pan out that way. But the way I see it is Casper is the most innovative thing. It is, again, Bitcoin's meant to be this ultimate store of money, and it's being used as ultimate store of value, but it can't be a move of exchange. Casper is the only project in history who's adhered to that vision and made it work. And it's where it's at right now without those tier 1, out those smart contracts, out those stable coins, all factors that are coming through the cycle in my belief again. So when the FUD happens and the Casper price goes down, I like to think, oh, well, I can accumulate more at low prices. I hope it stays that long. I really, really hope that Casper stays that longer. I really do. Because I'll buy more of the dips. Because I'm confident Casper's going to do very well. And that's maybe just me and my maxi mentality. Maybe it is. Again. But again, I'm also not worried because I do hold other assets. So while Casper my biggest bags, my biggest holding and it's down, I'm trying to DCA to get the average lower, I hold other assets that are currently up. I got XRP at 50 cents. I got Sui at $1.18. I'm still up on those. So I'm not worried at all. I'm not added to those bags because I don't feel like I want to put any more risk into them because I understand the risk behind them. But that's my biggest bag and I keep putting into that one because my risk was that much better. So if that's again, I hold other projects. I also trade to make money on the side as well. And I put those gains I put into Casper. That's just me personally. That's my trading strategy right now. And again, if you want to find out more of that sort of stuff, again, in regard to the trade, in particular, the trading element, then come check the VIP. Equally, if you join the free Discord server and you go to the Get VIP Access channel right here, you can see that I also have a incentive here. If you sign up to the BYDFI using my affiliate link right here and deposit at least $100, and you verify your account with this button here, which is your VID, you'll get multiple benefits. Also VIP access, permanent VIP access to the BYDFI VIP channels in here. And equally, 1 month free trial to my executive channel as well, to my VIP group, my personal one, which is also blended with BYDFI as well. And we also do have an incentive right now for BYDFI here, a deposit bonus, which I made a video on yesterday as well. So you want to get, again, a little bit extra. All links are down below in the description. You can sign, you can get involved. Of course, do so at your own discretion and at your own, well, again, your own discretion. Do your own research. Welcome back, Kryptoni bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back, my man. Was just saying about Donald Trump. I actually like him. Could be worse. I mean, again, people have their own perspective of Donald Trump and, you know, politics in general. I have the way I perceive it, if I'm being perfectly blunt, I hate all politicians. That's just how I perceive it. I don't like any politicians because I don't think any of them care about anybody. I don't. I think everybody has a I think every single politician is a pig with lipstick on. That's how I perceive it. The smart, like people who are rich, very, very rarely ever will look out for little people. The only person who I know who's done that is Mr. Beast. Going into Africa and building wells, doing all these like events and giving people out. I mean, he's still making more money from it anyways. But like 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, or 99.999 times out of 100, people who are rich don't care about people who are small. And politicians are all rich. They all have their own agendas. So my way of seeing it is, you know, crypto and politics go hand in hand now, but I don't choose to care or like any politicians. I just care about the results. If the results work, then cool. Thank you for making the results work. Thank you for sticking true to your word. If they don't work, I'm not surprised. I have no expectation for any politicians. That's how I perceive it. Are you panicking for Casper? No, I sleep perfectly well. I sleep like a baby. I'm perfectly fine. Ever been to Fresno? I have never been to Fresno, no. I do plan, once I make my millions in Casper, to do a little bit of a world tour, I reckon, just travelling around, definitely backpacking through Asia, maybe Europe as well, but I'm planning to, you know, I'm probably visit everywhere, to be honest. Detroit, also not Detroit, no, I've not been to America before. Welcome back, Matthew, bro. If Casper gets around to 4.5 cents, I'll be looking to buy around 2 million Casper. I could buy 1 million right now, but I do think we could still see lower. I mean, that would be insane. I'm glad to hear you got, you know, such good conviction in Casper. My perspective is I don't think we'll see below 5 cents. Again, I could very well be wrong. It's not financial advice once more. But I do think we have seen quite evidently this be the absolute bottom for Casper. Unless we see, you know, if Bitcoin crashes and goes to like 96k down here, then yes, maybe we go lower. Maybe. But otherwise, I think Casper has proven that this is a very strong support level, 5 cents. So going below that would be very, very difficult. Basically, my whole portfolio, I mean, yeah, it's fantastic stuff, Matthew. Keep stacking, bro. If you enjoy it, then like keep doing it. I think it's smart, actually. It creates a better recognition for what it is. I mean, again, the perspective on the Casper account, there's going to be conflicting opinions on it. There's a part of it which I do agree is probably a smart thing. Saying you're a city, you know, the whole philosophical thing about this as well, I think it's a good thing, you know, in that regard. So it's maybe quite smart. I agree with you in that regard. I just don't like the name, but it is better recognition for what it is. So I agree with that much at least. But I mean, some people like Casper and many others are not happy with it. If you don't like it, if you think it's a waste, again, just don't follow them. Casper is more than just one Twitter account. It's not even the main thing for it. 80k USD not make you so rich as you think. I mean, $80,000 is a lot of capital. For some people it's a lot. Some people it's again, it depends on your perspective and your own financial situation. And 80k USD, depending on what you're holding, can be fantastic. You know, some people have got richer off less, as long as you know what you're doing. I mean, if Casper dropped down really, really low, and you could buy therefore, you know, 8 million Casper, therefore, then, you know, yeah, be fantastic. You know, if it goes up to $1, therefore, you've made $8 million. So, be insane. Welcome back, LB, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. What's your opinion on when the mining reward gets lower down the line and transaction fees become the rewards for miners? What's the incentive for miners when transaction fees are so low? Well, hopefully by that point, the ecosystem for Casper starts thriving, and there's more adoption, you know, more transactions taking place, and therefore the fees will be low, but there'll be significantly more transactions taking place. Therefore, you'll be able to mine much more blocks, or at least there'll be more money in the. Again, have I said that correctly? Let me just double check that. Maybe not. No, I think there are a set amount of blocks that are released, so there won't be more blocks created per se. Let me check that, actually. Let me double check that, because the premise being is there's going to be, but hopefully by that point, many more people trading on the platform and, you know, on the platforms in general, the layer 2s and whatnot. So there'll be more trades taking place, more gas fees, more transaction fees. Therefore, there'll be more opportunity to mine the blocks. Now, whether that means there's going to be more blocks or there's going to be more of the transaction fees in one block, I need to double check. But the incentive will therefore be, again, if there's no volume on the Casper platform, then yes, there'll be little to no incentive. But if by that point there's a lot more, you know, transaction taking place, then it should be fine. I mean, and those who actually mine Casper, they'll have their own. I don't mine Casper, so I'm not too much word on that front. Those who mine Casper have their own perspective on it as well, I'm sure. Of course, I play the long game, and that's what we're doing right now. Basically, we're playing the long game indeed. Yeah, a lot of people right now have been selling Zebic, obviously because it's come down 40% from its top, and people have to get a lot of people right now. That's a lot of the biggest failures in crypto. Of course, it works sometimes, and I don't have any problem people doing whatever they want. But a lot of the biggest issue people have in crypto, biggest mistake is people just chase candles. They chase green candles. It happens time and time again, and they lose. It happens all the time. You know, there's going to be a lot of people who get into crypto in October and September and, you know, November the first time. They're coming because Bitcoin's really, really high. Things could go higher and it might just come back down. They lose all their money. It happens every single year, every single day, pretty much. So gotta be careful. But I mean, yeah, Kita. People are gonna go to whatever the hype is, you know, right now. People still very much believe. The problem is a lot of people in crypto still very much believe in the get rich quick scheme. You know, and that's back in the last few cycles, last few years, crypto has been a get rich quick scheme, quote unquote. That's how they perceived it has been. It's not that anymore, or at least it's losing that sustenance anymore. It's now turning into an asset class, you know, a long-term factor. I have institutional documentation, which again I highly recommend checking out for yourself in the VIP. I covered it in my weekly live stream, and I think I might have posted about it. I need to check though. But it confirmed that institutions are perceiving altcoins, instead of it being the typical 2 to 3 year ROI, they're now looking at 7 to 8 years ROI. So institutional investors are perceiving this, like Casper, therefore, assets like Casper, not to do necessarily make massive ROI in the next 2 to 3 years, but in the next 7 to 8 years. They're looking at it to 2030. So that tells you, therefore, how they perceive the market going to be going. Maybe it's going to end of the 4-year cycle. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But they see it as a long-term investment. And that's how, you know, me and my VIPs, that's how we are thinking now as well. Of course, we're making our short-term gains in that regard with trading. Of course, always do your own research. But also making our capital here and there in the short term. But we have our long-term plays because we know what institutions are looking at as well. So We're leveraging what institutions are telling their clients and adapting that to our own trading strategies. Casper is evaporating into irrelevance. First manipulation, then suppressed, then forgotten. It's so bad that only Casper is affected by the war. What? What are you talking about, Lieutenant? How is Casper the only one affected by the war? Everything's down. You're not looking at the same chart that I'm looking at. Everything's down. Casper's not even down the most. Sui is down more than Casper. Ethereum's down more than Casper right now. I agree it's frustrating that the FUD is causing, Casper to come down, but Casper's not the only one down from it. If you're looking at CMC, then maybe it's different on CMC, I don't know. But CMC is not where I go to look at the market charts. I don't go to here to look at the market charts. I go to trading. Trading View is real-time updates for what's going on, the most accurate update of what's going on in the market. Trading View. It's what professional investors use Trading View. If you want to level up that's the simplest thing. If you want to level up your game into understanding crypto and markets better, use Trading View as opposed to CMC or CoinGecko. These are just nice UI templates so you can understand it very, very easily. They're nice, they're clean, it's fine. But the ones that actually really tell you what's happening in real time is Trading Views. You can create an account for free. You don't need anything special for it. You can pay for it if you want to, but you get a free Trading View account and you can get add all of these cryptos on the side here. You just go to the watch list up here. You can add anything down here. You get only a certain amount you can add. I don't think I can add any more right now. I can't, I've already got 30 I can add on the basic plan. But I can remove, I've got the S&P 500 here. I've got the money supply here, which I don't even think I need now that I've got the indicator, to be honest. I've got oil here. Got gold, got silver. I've got, Forex here that I should probably remove myself anyway. Got some Forex here. Got some stocks here as well. Just one really. And I've got all my cryptos here. I don't even look at half. I could probably remove some of them anyways. But this here just gives me everything that I need to know. All the stuff that I really care about looking at the markets right now. This is what I use to judge what's happening in the space right now. And yeah, Casper is down, but it's not the only one affected. All of them are being affected right now. I agree Casper is struggling, but I disagree that's also evaporating into irrelevance. I disagree in that regard as well. The fact that you actually are seeing more and more people talking about Casper. It doesn't feel that way, but they are. People like Uphold are still very, very bullish on Casper as well, and they're one of the biggest exchanges in the world and in America. But I mean, again, disagree, disagree. That's all I can say, really. Stop, you don't know nothing. Of course you are. Yes, of course you and Hall of person like you are up in every coin. I mean, that's not me trying to brag, Andy. I'm not up in every coin. I'm down in Casper. I'm down in Tau. I'm down in Say. I'm down in multiple assets. I'm not up in every coin. I never for once said I am up in every coin. I've said I'm up in some other assets. I'm up in my trading, thanks to the traders who are part of the community, the traders that I've also onboarded, and also BYDFI as well. I'm up in my trades. I'm up in some other assets like Sui, and I've got XRP when it was 50 cents because I was holding that beforehand, before the lawsuit. Or I was holding that during the lawsuit because I saw a lot of information suggesting that XRP is going to win the lawsuit. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get into it when it's 50 cents. And I made money on that. And Sui as well, I got told about it early actually, but I did get into $1.80. So I'm up on those. I don't know everything. I've never ever once claimed I know everything. People who watch this channel consistently know that I don't say that. I always say my own opinion, not financial advice. Do your own research. And I could be wrong. I said it literally over the stream. This is what I'm seeing from social media. I could be wrong. I don't hold everything. I'm down, in a lot of my assets. My whole portfolio is probably a little bit up right now. Actually, no, it is up because I got very fortunate in the meme market when the meme bubble was doing really, really well before this new year. In 2024, the meme bubble was doing very, very well. I made a very, very nice, 20x of one of my projects, or one of the assets there, which, I've been kind of using that to kind of... If I didn't have that, then I'd be down. Put it that way. So I got fortunate, therefore. That was the meme market. That was a lucky play. That's what it was. That was luck. But I've been DCing other assets as well. I don't know everything. I definitely don't. I'm not up like everybody either. I'm not. Some people probably are. I'm not in everything. I'm up overall. And I'm lucky in that regard, but I'm not. But I keep DCAing. That's all I can do. So again, I'm sorry if what I said offended you, bro. I really am. I never once claimed to be a messiah of crypto. All I do, as I do every stream, is research, provide you information, and get my perspective on it. It's up to you to choose if you want to believe me or not. But anyway, you do your own research anyways. I'm not a financial advisor. You do as you will. I do feel like I know more other people though. And I say that purely because, again, the information I provide to my VIPs, the alpha information documents, you know what, actually? I'll show one. What should I show? Exclusive. Typing that in my community so I can find it easier. Which one should I show? Nah, not AI agents. That's also AI agents. No, not that one. I'm just gonna show one of them. There was one from Signum Bank actually that did highlight that, you know, the markets have priced in worst case scenario, but you know, because there's something worse. You know, I'll just show this one. I'll show it very briefly. The one that you know, again, this is from Signum Bank. All right, Signum Bank. My VIPs knew about this months back. This article's released March 11th, 2025 from Signum Bank, which I think they give a description of who they are down here. No, I think it's another document they did that. I mean, Signum Bank is, again, they're very well ingrained into the DeFi and TradFi world, and they're trying to revolutionize finance for PayFi. This whole document here is very insightful, you know, giving a breakdown of the PayFi ecosystem map and whatnot. The part that I really care about, though, it's just simply this first paragraph here. The global payments industry churns through a substantial $1.8 quadrillion in transactions each year. But much of this enormous flow relies heavily on outdated systems and trillions of dollars sitting idle in pre-funded Nostro Vostro accounts. That means the SWIFT system goes through $1.8 quadrillion a year in transactions. But it's very slow, it's incumbent, it's expensive, and because of SWIFT as well and how the system works, you've got trillions of dollars sitting idle in Nostro Vostro accounts. That alone, and now that we should know as well, as you've been again doing your research, you know that SWIFT is also migrating to ISO 20022 compliance. They're coming on blockchain, on chain. They're using digital assets. Happening in November as well, by the way. Information is literally there. Type in SWIFT ISO 20022 November. You'll find documents on that. You should be able to find it that way. So therefore, you're going to see, not immediately, gradually, but you start seeing $1.8 quadrillion in transactions coming to the crypto space. Of course, volume does not correlate to price, but it will mean, of course, more demand, therefore, and that will correlate to price. More demand and market cap. But also understand as well, this is again, it's an old, enormous, heavily outdated, old, expensive system. So 1.8 quadrillion is the minimum we'll see in the future coming on crypto, because with blockchain, SWIFT takes 3 days sometimes to transact money back and forth. And it can also fail, highlight it's going to fail. Casper, for example, can do it in seconds. So that 1.8 quadrillion is the bare minimum for what we're going to end up seeing coming to crypto in the future. That is one of countless hundreds of institutional documents that I have posted and also covered in my weekly launches with my VIPs. So to get off my high horse now, I don't know everything. I'm not a messiah, but what I do know how to do, because I was in the last cycle and I made mistakes in the last cycle, is I know how to research. And the research tells me what's come to this space, which is incredible amount of capital. And I know more or less when it's going to be coming, what the interested are saying, because again, that's what the doctors I'm looking into, what they're saying. And that's what I'm telling to my VIPs. Again, you want to find out a lot more institutional information, trade alerts, educational videos, and so much more. And also then working on my BYDFI as well, so extra benefits. And again, check out the VIP. But my conviction's never dipped with Casper, because I know what's coming to the space. And I think that Casper's going to be the best platform that will see all the capital come to it in the future as the layer one infrastructure for everything. I'm not a messiah. I'm not fantastic. I'm your average crypto investor, but I feel like my research give me conviction in what I hold. If you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. Doesn't bother me either way. I won't see both of it. If someone was trying to manipulate Casper's price to get people to sell, what incentive do they have to pump it? Casper doesn't give supply, and 800 million on Casper Wallet 2 is not enough to push the price on central exchanges. It's a good question, Brad. It's a good question. I mean, the incentives can come from a multiple. I mean, again, if these are tier ones who are manipulating the price of Casper, a listing would definitely pump it. Partnerships would pump it if they partner with like the KEF and whatnot. If they spoke about it more and, you know, actively were working with it, then there are incentives out there. It would, you know, it would. We have to wait and see how it happens. Ultimately, the most obvious answer would just be listings, or better still, when Capital launches its smart contracts on layer 2s, you see other dApps, other infrastructure building on Casper. That would do fantastic for it. Again, I'm up because I got lucky from a meme coin. Otherwise, I would be down. I'm up on some assets, XRP and SUI and some others. But for the most part, most of my assets are down. You know, so it is what it is. But again, you can choose to believe me or not. I have been very transparent on this channel. Of course, I don't show my portfolio because that is private. But I've been very transparent. Of course, it's a trust me bro thing. But I like to believe that I have managed to gain the trust of everybody in this community because I have never tried to lie. And if I have made a mistake, I've always apologized for it. So, again, you believe as you will, brother. I love politicians. Well, I'm glad you do, Wing Hong, because I do not. It's dead, unfortunately. I mean, can you say the same for Say, then, for? Is Say dead? Is Sui dead? Is Tao dead? Is Tao dead? Again, it's a matter of perspective. I think Casper on the monthly is still forming that bullish structure. So, you know, it's fine. I'm still fine with it. It's still, you know, forming that bullish structure right now. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, that's just TA. I've already shared information why I'm not worried about Casper or crypto in general. And that's just one of many documents as well. But again, this is typical. You're going to see in this top of the cycle. In this part of the cycle, it's typical to see everybody getting very, very panicky because we are waiting for a break off. People have been promised a breakout for a long, long time, and I've been partly the problem of that as well. Because I believe the breakout could have come a lot earlier, and every time I thought a breakout could happen, I've always said at the same time, a breakout could happen, but if something unexpected happens, it won't. It happened again. Breakout could have happened this week, but then this Israel thing happened, and Iran stuff happened, and then we stopped it happening. I did pre-warn people about that, a possibility of it, and it happened. But of course, people just purely saw breakout and they just thought, oh, I was just lying to people. Again, if you don't see the whole picture of it, you don't listen to the whole information, then you'll be caught out. I try to be as transparent as possible what's happening. Every time there's again, it's simple. Anything can happen, you know. I think people are scared when there's 100% in crypto and have no stables on the side. Yeah, true. People who are ultimately very worried and scared also will have too much capital invested into it. I have a lot of capital invested into Casper, agreeably, but I also just have a lot of conviction where it's going to be going. But you know, if I've had times where I've had too much invested into meme coins. When I made that insane 20x earlier, my portfolio in the memes was the biggest one I had, and I was like, oh god, okay, that's way too high. Then I got worried with my meme portfolio, and then I put it into stablecoins, and put it back into Casper. So, you know, will we actually see 15 cents? I don't see why not. It's good to keep 10-20% in stables at all times so you can buy the dips. I mean, it's not a bad strategy either. I'm seeing a lot of questions right now. I'll get from the roll really quickly. People are swearing it won't dump below 10 cents. I mean, people are swearing the whole time about certain matters. Anything can happen, you know? I've been saying the whole time, anything's possible. I don't believe it will jump below 5 cents. But again, I could very well be wrong. I'm not a messiah. I'm not a saint. Nobody has any clue because no content creator, nobody has any clue about where crypto's going to go unless they're in the insider circles controlling the price. And spoiler alert, if they're doing that, they're not making videos for you. Unless they're doing it on meme projects, that's something else entirely. If they're making videos for you, they are not the ones in the insider circles controlling the price. 9 times out of 10 at least, or 99 times out of 10, or 100. So, you know, people will swear if they want to. No one has that idea. Yeah, Casper had very lackluster marketing, I agree. Casper was one of them who brought a whole X account thing. He's partly responsible for like Christian Ludwig. I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest, in regards to that. If you can show me proof of that, Lieutenant, then I'll look into it more. But I have no reason to have any ill feelings or distrust towards Christian Ludwig or Casper because I have no idea what it's referring to. I don't know what you mean about brought an X account. Well, I know what that means, but I haven't seen proof of it. So if you can show me proof, then I'll believe you. Otherwise, then unfortunately, it's just your opinion over. Well, I have no proof. Again, I don't like to make any definitive assumptions or opinions based on just speculation. I always try and find facts. That's what I try to do. The first note and Detroit comments were made in reference to Casper City. Oh, saying something about cities don't fall when they thrive. Just not liking the logic. I mean, again, the account is I don't know. Again, if you don't like it, just don't follow it. I don't know. Again, I don't even go to this account for source information anymore. I will go through my Twitter feed, and look, like that's a post about it. Like I'll go through my feed here, people that I've been following for a while, and I'll find people like that, and I'll find information about it that way. I've got my feed already catered to Casper. I don't use this account anymore for information at all. I don't think I probably ever will unless they change something. So to all the people who went all in, if you went all in, then again, that's the complication. Again, going all in is a big risk. That's why I've always had a DCA strategy. Unless it's, again, even then, no, it's always been a DCA strategy. Always has been. I always don't go all in because if you go all in, you're too emotional. Even if you try to be logical, you're too emotional. Even if you think everything's going to definitely go up, there's no guarantee it's definitely going to go up. It's a high chance it's going to go up this week, today, and then we had this. So going all in is a big, risk. This is the ETF institutional era that will welcome crypto companies more than fair launch. No leader, Casper, unfortunately. For my bags, genius devs don't always equal genius business leaders. I mean, you're right in that regard. I don't disagree. But at the same time, think about it this way. Bitcoin, which was created in 2008, was suppressed for years and years and years and years and years and years because it was a threat to what these smart money people wanted. And now they've adopted it because its technology is just superior to what they currently have. And now they're looking at the crypto companies, and of course they're going to get into those as well and make more money from it as well. So Casper is definitely, on the sidelines in that regard, and it's going to be a struggle for them. But if they can do and create some truly innovative technology, that in itself is going to be, for me, is going to be too overwhelming for projects to simply ignore. Again, Casper's not a small asset. It's not as high as I wanted to be, but it's not a small asset. It's been top 40, it's been top 20. It's got some massive crypto names who are behind the project. Son Polinsky, Hans, Michael Sutton, people who have got the accolades in this space, who know what they're talking about. Son Polinsky has been quoted in white papers and research documents from, the Dallas Fed, and the Bitcoin, Bitcoin, pretty much every single protocol in this space. Son Polinsky it's been based off the protocols that Son Polinsky created. That's not necessarily saying that Casper is therefore going to take off, but point being is Casper cannot be ignored. It could be suppressed, and it may not therefore do, leaps and bounds people may expect, but it can't be ignored. As long as they keep developing and things keep going as intended, slowly, but, surely, I believe it'll do very, very well. But you have a point to be made there as well. And we are not in the degen era, of Bitcoin either as well. So, yeah, I mean, you got a point there. I don't disagree with you, Brad Pitt. It's going to be a battle. And again, I'm in Casper because I believe the technology will be innovative enough to make an impact. I believe in the future of Casper, and I believe it cannot be ignored in the future either. All the other assets, you're going to see a stage where 99% crypto go to zero. You're going to see that. Those, for the most part now, those who hold Casper, hold it because they believe in the project now. I mean, some evidently still don't have faith in it and they're frustrated. And when they sell, because they evidently wanted to sell now, when they sell, it'll be left to people who have conviction in it. And there's still a lot of people who have conviction in Casper. A lot of people. So Casper, I think, will still do fine. But again, that's my belief. It's not financial advice. You do what's best for you. There will be more transactions in a block, like more passengers in the bus. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Tony, again, for that insight. helping me where I am lacking the information. That's also why I have my community, my free one and my paid one, but both of them, again, just to have, when I'm also lacking the information, they provide me insights as well. So the community, we're all helping each other out. Developing content media and Crumbs token projects help in a great stage of promoting Casper. I mean, sure. Well, you really are a negative man, aren't you, brother? What if smart contracts attract the same new users as KYC20, just capping recycling that old Casper over and over? What if it doesn't? There's no point in going on what ifs. We have no idea. That's the problem with these conversations. It's all speculation. I can make my beliefs, you can make your counter arguments. It's going to go around in circles. We have no idea. End of the day, if you are lacking faith in Casper and believing in Casper or any crypto project in general, and you're finding it tough, then you got to do what's right for you and sell. And again, it's completely down to you. I choose to believe in Casper. I am not holding you at gunpoint to make you believe in Casper. I respectfully, again, I don't care what people do. It's not a qualm for me. It's not a problem for me. It's not an issue for me. It's been a long haul for Casper. It's frustrating. I would love to see the day when Casper does pass all-time highs and I can finally say, for the over year I've been streaming, I can now say I'm up in Casper. Well, I mean, I'll be up before that, of course. I have got a lower average than all-time high, but I started streaming at all-time highs. Maybe I'm the problem. Who knows? Since I started streaming, Casper be doing really, really badly. Maybe this 3-day break, Casper's going to pump up to, 50 cents. Who knows? I'll be so upset if that happens, honestly. I'll actually be so upset. I'll be more than upset. You have no idea. I might just stop streaming forever, therefore. Actually, I probably won't, but who knows? I mean, again, we have to wait and see, ultimately, brother. No long game here. Again, we'll see what happens. It will be irrelevant in 2 years. Marketing failed big. We have no confirmation of that. Speculation, but sure. And saying that we have to hold in 2030 is funny. I'm not saying we have to hold until then. I'm giving my perspective. You don't have to do what I'm saying. I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever. I don't know what more to say. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm telling people what I'm doing. And I'm still saying I do well the cycle. I never once said it won't do well the cycle. I still think I do well the cycle. I stopped doing predictions, so I'm not giving I think the problem is, again, so many people who go onto Casper got sold by Moonboy price predictions. And now we've not got that. People are now like, oh, it's a terrible project because all they care about is price. And of course, there are many valid arguments to support why Casper's not going to do well. In regards to not having tier 1s, not having smart contracts, although both will come out this cycle, I'm very, very sure. Not having marketing. The marketing's terrible. I agree with that much. But I still believe that Casper's going to do well regardless. Bitcoin had bad marketing. We're not in... I think the position of Casper's being blown well out of proportion. Because, again, people are so desperate to see quick gains. People are so desperate to see quick gains. So, Casper's like, oh, it's not going to do well. Again, it is what it is. I don't really have more to talk on that topic. And actually, the stream become way too fuddy, which is not my... It was not my intention for my last stream for the next 3 days to be in such a negative sense. So any more FUD questions, I'm going to probably just skip over because I also do have to prepare, as I'm going to be leaving in 7 hours, well, not 7 hours, in about 9 hours to go to a wedding. And I don't want to be in a, down mood for that, I think that's fair on my belief. I agree with you there, Lieutenant. A lot of people sell at 20 cents, 100%, because people got in very heavily here. So some people went all in here thinking it's going to go up to the moon. So it's going to be a big sell-off there. I've been saying that for months, though. So, yeah. People do what's right for them. It's perfectly fine. That's also incorrect. That's also massively incorrect. Massively incorrect. I mean, Bitcoin should always rule in that regard, sure. No one trades through CoinMarketCap charts. That'd be horrible. I mean, a lot of the comments I'm seeming to be getting in the stream right now are making claims that are just factually incorrect. And the only way I can think of why it's incorrect is they're looking at the wrong charts. If you're looking at TradingView, you can see that Casper's not the worst performer today. If you're looking at Casper Bitcoin dominance, I could look at any project. I said I wouldn't do it anymore. I'm going to do it one more time. Cas Bitcoin. It's currently down. What would be from here? Down 40% since the beginning, or since 23 at least. August 23 is down. Obviously, if you're going way back to where its actual founding is up, Again, going back to this post, in the last 3 years, Cas has been the best performer. So it's amount of perspective. If you're looking at other projects, what can I pull up? XRP? How's XRP doing actually? Let's see how XRP is doing to Bitcoin. Probably doing well now, let's see. I've got to go back quite a ways. So it's here. I've got to get the other one out. Price range. What is it here? It's there. That's where it started. So yeah, I mean that's XRP. Therefore, XRP is down 64. So XRP is down more than Casper is. Therefore, so again, that's just factually incorrect, Lieutenant. It's factually incorrect. Casper's down a bit. XRP is down more than Casper, so it's just factually incorrect. And that's just one project. I could pull up hundreds, but I'm not going to waste my time and other people's time watching doing that. Mindset. Patience, Arthur. Not going to say the last name because I'm butcher that. Every truth goes through 2 stages. First, it's ridiculed, then it's violently repressed, and finally it's accepted as self-evident. I think you're right, DD. I do think you're right, indeed. Casper eventually will be accepted. People are trying to suppress it right now. We'll have to wait and see, though. Oh, you're BSing. Okay. Well, you know. Good for you, brother. Good for you, brother. Worst case, I'll be stuck at 8 cents, purgatory forever. I mean, hey, that's one way of looking at it. Say is a great buy as well, in my opinion. It's at the lowest, and I did make double bottom. I hold Say. You know, I'll hold Say. I'm down on Say. I got in, I think. I don't even know when I got in. I haven't checked my Say bag for a while. Say is down. Say could still be a good play this cycle. It's definitely a fast infrastructure, but again, there's risk to it because it's centralized. And Casper technically is far faster as well. We could see Say do very well. Again, I'm not saying Say the bad buy. I hold Say again, but I mean, it is what it is. You've got to do your own research. Great R&R. Yeah. What's up, Grocery Bro? You're doing very, very well, brother. And yes, welcome to the FUD chat. How many more comments do I have? Quite a few. Don't get what come with smart contract and then it's too late. I hope so. I do hope so. Problem is people don't take profits on any trades. It's good to sell at least 10% of your bag at key levels. Then when it dips, you can buy more back. I mean, yeah. Every time I do the trades on BYDFI, I've been doing the trades, I always take profits. When I was doing that meme coin trade that I said I got 20x on, I actually took up my initials. It did a 2x, took out my initials, so I made, didn't lose any money therefore if it went to 0, went to bed, I got a call from a mate of mine at like 4 a.m. He said, take your trade out now, because I didn't have a take profit level on the meme coin, and I took profit at 20x. And that's after I'd already taken out half of it, so it would have been a 40x. But I did a safe and, the smart thing to take profits. There are ways to minimize risk in crypto. And that is one element of doing so. And again, I'm not an all saint in myself. That's one example I'm giving. I've made hundreds of screw ups, especially in the last cycle. But I've learned from them, which is what you do when you keep, going at this space, and when you keep researching. That's what I pride myself as being a researcher. That's what I take pride in doing. And that's why I think that my knowledge in crypto is good. It's not the best. People have got more knowledge than I do, of course, in different circles and whatnot, but I think it's good, especially when it comes to Casper. I think I know more than Casper. I think I know a lot about Casper. Not everything. Again, that's why I've got community people who help me out. But I know a lot. But yeah, I'm always happy to dips as well. I'm down on Casper right now. Don't even know. I haven't checked my Casper bag either. I don't care to. I'm probably down on Casper. I probably imagine my average is around, maybe 15 cents or so, give or take. I'm probably down on Casper like that, I imagine. But I'm not worried. Buying is easier, but selling is much harder. I agree, but I'll take profits on the way up because I've been doing it for a while. I'm not emotionally invested into Casper. When I do crypto, because I understand the risk, I am logical. I put money in that I'm willing to lose because I know the risk in crypto. I don't put my whole, week's wage and house rent on it. I put money that I can lose. And then I always do the secure thing. I didn't say it's going to take 10 years, I know I'm still alive. I'm going through a lot of comments. I figured that I would just go a little bit more overboard in a sense because I'm going to be away for 3 days. So I thought, I'd do a little bit longer today. I'm not being negative. I'm really excited about the Crumpet Media project. I'm holding Crumb tokens. I think it's a great platform. Put it on Casper. Oh, I haven't heard of it then. I haven't heard it. I thought your Crumpet Media was talking about Cas Media. Well, I apologize for the insult, but again, I made a mistake. I'll take responsibility for that. I'm very, very sorry about that. I think, again, maybe the FUD comments have got too much to me this stream. Maybe I need to cool down. But I mean, yeah, I haven't heard about that personally. I maybe just missed my timeline. If you can send that to me, negative, you can send it to me through Twitter, which my Twitter @ is right here. Or equally, send it to me through the Discord server. I'd love to see it more about it and look into it more. That does sound interesting. Well, I'm not entirely sure why, Odd, but I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can make up from it. I see that comment from Tony there, and I'm not going to show that on screen, but sure. I'm not going to make a comment on it either, but again, it is what it is. People were saying Vern saying bull run for people been saying bull run for 2 years already. I mean, yeah, of course they have been. But again, people have been saying that I'm most likely informed. We're technically in a bull run right now. Like, the fact the bull run took off when Bitcoin rose past all-time highs. That's when the bull run took off. And we've had a very, very long haul consolidating around here. This here is the literal bear trap. We saw a 30% pullback here. And now people are panicking because we are seeing currently a 5% pullback from its recent all-time high. People are just so desperate to make money that they're just throwing all their toys at the pram. And of course, Casper is even worse because it's a smaller asset in altcoin. I bought more last night. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I mean, yeah, in the short term, then yeah, you kind of made a mistake. Not that you would have known about this anyway. So it was a sudden occurrence in this regard. But in the longer term, and by longer term I mean the next few months, maybe a few weeks, I have to wait and see again. Hopefully that won't feel like a bad decision. I'm not setting until $10. Well, good for you, Wing Hong. I'm stoked on Casper. Well, good to hear it, negative, man. We're already at the top of this bull run. I don't believe so. From 15k to 128k is a bull run. Bitcoin is at the top of its S-curve. Diminishing returns. Wall Street is buying at the top. I don't think we're at the top of the bull cycle at all right now. I think we're at the bull cycle at all right now. I think we've got more to go. But again, I could be wrong. But I think all the information, and again, the VIP information I showed to my VIPs, my executives, tells us that we've got a lot more room to run this cycle, and of course, from that point on as well. And Gosu says, yeah, smash that like button before the police pulls and rugs you over. You know it. At this point, I'm not in it for the money. I'm just donating. Well, that's one way to look at it, Odd. One way to look at it indeed. You understand that Bitcoin is just the exception, not the rule, right? Just because Bitcoin happened is more the reason why it's not going to happen again, more than happen again. Again, it's a matter of perspective. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. Like, there's truth in the comment you're saying, Brad Pitt, but again, Casper is also in a very, very unique position. There's no guarantee Casper's not going to do well or is going to do fantastically well. I believe there's more of a chance he will do fantastically well. And you believe evidently otherwise. But I don't have really more to comment on that front. End of the day, we'll have to just wait and see how it performs. Because ultimately, it comes down to, if it does really, really badly, you're right, I'm wrong. If it does really, really well, then I'm right, you're wrong. But there doesn't need to be a conversation about that. It's a different opinion, and just leave it at that. If you don't believe Casper's going to do very well, that's perfectly fine. I have no ill feeling towards you at all, Brett. You do what's right for you. I believe in Casper, and I believe Casper is equally an exception to the rule because of what it is and what it's building. The fact that you're hearing these titans in the space, like Hans, who's, come to Casper because of its nature, its proof of work element, its failed nature, like Bitcoin. The fact that you're seeing Bitcoin maximalists also talk about Casper more so as well because it's fair launch. Proof of work, decentralized. End of the day, it's just what it is. It's the price. The price is turning people into very emotional wrecks, which I get. Again, we're investors, it is frustrating. But I've explained in this video, in this stream, why Casper's dumping hard right now. Not because Casper's bad, it's nothing to do with Casper personally, it's because of these fundamental developments and war outbreaks. We'll see how it goes from here though. I've just been photography and developing 35mm film back when that was a thing. I've been doing this crypto trading since 2010. Casper's the only project I've been excited about for years. That's what I mean. There are a lot of people in the space who truly are excited about Casper. You know, they've been searching for ages and ages on crypto, just seeing a lot of crap being made, and they're finding like, oh, Casper, oh wow, it actually sounds really, really good and safer than everything else as well. Everyone's got different perspectives. Like, people can go to their centralized projects they want to. They can go to a proof of stake. They can go to whatever they want to. You make money with. End of the day, you go where makes you money. That's. I mean, again, I'm making money otherwise as well. I've lost money as well. Go where makes you money. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna hold Casper. You can do so if you want to, but do your own research about it. Well, there you go. Also, yeah, if your social capital going to zero, then why don't you just short it? Also, you could do that as well. Get coins that haven't had any bull run, aka ICP, Quay, network. I mean, sure. Go for it if you want to. Well, the ultra, yeah, also the block DAG network. That's a scam. Do that as well. Where's Mr. Miles when you need him? Man, you used to do all this admin stuff. Now it's Cryptony doing it. Maybe Cryptony deserves the moderator stuff over Mr. Miles. Who knows? ICP is a bad example of something you should invest in, not financial, of course. I mean, I think that's quite an evident observation. Everyone hates on Casper. Yeah, is what it is. I'm over it. I'm living life. I'm gonna turn off stream the next 5 minutes. Gonna get my steak dinner that I've been going cold now for about half an hour, and I'm going to go to bed, wake up in 6 hours, and drive to a wedding and get completely drunk and enjoy myself. That's my plan. See my two closest friends celebrating their life together, and yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be a very beautiful event. I am taking profits. The percentage of my bag is shifting based on institutional sentiment, which I cover my VIPs. It was 70%. Now it's probably less. We'll have to see. I'll play reaction into the markets. I video chat on chain via ICP and open chat. Who else is in crypto can do this? Speech to code, apps, website. I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know too much about ICP. All I know is it looks very, very bad in a long-term outlook from its launch. Not saying it's going to do terribly. I also don't trust ICP though, because it has got it's got an infinite max supply, and we have seen on numerous occasions already. Love CMC. We've seen on numerous occasions already with assets like Mantra, like Luna, Luna here, obviously went to zero basically, infinite max supply, Mantra, infinite max supply, and then ICP. While it is different, AI, in that regard, still infinite max supply, and that's a chart for it. That, for me, again, you do your own research, but that for me is enough to keep me away from the project, because I've seen on numerous occasions now projects that have infinite max supply, therefore they are literally what money is right now, and the system we have right now is collapsing. It's destroying itself because it's terrible. Infinite max supply is the exact carbon copy thing, so it's also going to fail. That's evidently what's happening right now. We have seen so many economic resets. America's not the dollar's not the first world reserve asset. We've seen economies crumble from being a world reserve currency and then falling off. The only one that did okay, recovering from that actually, is the Great British Pound. And now they're screwed because of Brexit. But everything that's had an infinite max supply has gone to zero. It's crumbled. So in that regard there, I choose to stay clear of ICP, me personally. But you do what's best for you again. Oh, I agree. Chat is for debating. I agree. Yeah, we can agree to disagree. That's perfectly fine as well. And I agree. The 2 year holding Casper has been a struggle, to put it bluntly. But it does not change my conviction in Casper. That's because, again, from what I've seen coming to crypto and what I see is being built for Casper, and the fact that the biggest element for crypto that's going to make it successful is its interoperability, and Casper is going to be interoperable with every other chain. They're doing so right now. They're trying to build it. Then I'm also convinced that Casper will do very well. There are going to be people who are going to be seeing Casper's cheap fees and its seamless nature and its security, and think, why would I be on Ethereum It's got a bigger community, but it's just so much more expensive. Why'd I be on there? And it's still my fees. Why'd I be on there when it comes to Casper when it's safer and it's cheaper and it's faster? It's just, again, I made the example when I bought Casper, recently or whatever. No, sorry, I was transferring stable coins about to take it out of into my bank. Like I did it, I think like a month back or something like that. And I remember doing it. I was on what was I on? I think I was on Mexi at the time, my old Mexi account that I just managed to get back access to. And when I just clicked, USDT, got my wallet to crypto.com because that's the exchange I use. When I took it out, the first thing it does is it shows you obviously the USDT and all the the change you can use, and it always will show you the most popular one and the cheapest one. BNB chain was the first one that came up for me because it's the cheap BNB. The transaction fees are a lot lower. You transact by BNB, so there's a good possibility therefore if Casper keeps growing more and more and gets the adoption that these exchanges will adopt that chain, the Casper block DAG, and therefore Casper being the cheapest and fastest, it's going to show Casper at the very top. Investors aren't going to care what chain they use in regards to the most biggest, community. All they're going to care about is what chain will give me my crypto the cheapest and the fastest. That's all they care about. It should be the same. So that in itself will be the selling point for Casper, in my belief. I've discussed the negatives about Casper continuously. Don't get me wrong, I am definitely the hopium and the FOMO. I do discuss a lot more positives. But I've discussed negatives about Casper continuously. I covered the fun about Casper and actually got told to stop talking about it. So, I try to be transparent. I do cover the negatives. I cover the price being bad. I cover what's coming to the space. I give my perspectives. When I cover FUD, I get told to stop talking about it. That's the problem of being a content creator. You can never please everybody. But I've accepted that role. My internet's persona, I've accepted being that role. It is what it is. But in that regard, then, family, it has been it's been a real one, this stream. Not exactly the stream I wanted to leave for the next 3 days because I'm not going to be here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Didn't want to leave from this stream, but the market is what it is. Can't do anything more about it. I respect and love you all, those who have been pushing me down and calling me out. I hope that you're doing okay. I apologise if I have made you upset or angry. It's not my intention. Don't want to cause people any angst in any sense. But it's been frustrating. It's been a long one, and I'm sure it's going to be continually hard for years to follow as well. If this place was easy, we'd all be billionaires. That's the way to look at it. If it was easy, we'd be rich already. It's not easy. You do what's best for you. If you want to leave Casper, go for it. I apologise if I have caused you any angst once more. Not my intention, but don't ignore my content. I apologise. You're also more than likely or more than happy to watch other people. I would be sad to see you leave. But again, I can't control you. I hope you all have a great evening and have a good weekend and a good break from me. Again, maybe Casper will go up because I'm having a break now for the next 3 days of the wedding. Have a great weekend. Don't be emotional. Be logical. If you enjoyed the stream, give a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Casper and to get the updates what's happening when I'm not streaming, check out the free community. Equally, the VIP available down here as well for more in-depth information. You can find articles in there and weekly live streams. Of course, not this week or on Monday, but weekly live streams like these as well that gives you an insight on what's happening in the space. You find out a lot more in there as well. Have a great day, good evening, good evening, and good night, family. Have a great weekend. I apologise again for the FUD and the doom stream, but again, I'm sure we'll be on the up in the near future. And take it easy, guys. See you next time. And all of you have a good weekend and just relax.